Hey everyone, Eggman here with another video, and today we have a breakdown for a Fusion World Locals that happened this past weekend. It was an online locals hosted by PPG, and they're doing them every Saturday, so if you guys haven't checked those out, you guys can. They're open for anyone who's able to just do webcam stuff, so just again, an online event for you guys to test out and do some gameplay, which is really fun. But we do also have this event too, which I do appreciate them not only running it, but also giving me the deck list for it, as well as the Lookout DBS was doing a Twitch stream for the event, so if you guys want to watch matches, that's linked here in the document, which is the Eggman events webpage too. So obviously a smaller event. I think this is probably going to be their smallest locals they have. Is right after the release of the set, right? So I know some people are trying to get more cards, and we're going to see that these are also not optimal lists, but they are just like a full list of decks that I can look over and go give my input and just kind of give to you guys too. So again, this is going to be on my website, Eggman events, and there's going to be more in the future to check out, so keep on coming back. But going over it, we did have a total of 9 players. I was going to do a top 4 or top 8, but I had 9 lists. I want to go over them, so I put all of them here. We had 2 Star Deck Friezas, with one of them winning the event. 2 of the the Sun Gohan Childhood, 2 of the Star Deck Broly, and then also a Goku Black, an Aandroidd 17, and a Sat 1 Son Goku. So I think it's still pretty obvious that green is the more popular color. I think it's also a deck that you can build pretty cheaply too. I think if you just get 2 of the Broly Star Decks and a couple rares from the set, you're in a really good spot. I think yellow is maybe one of the trickier colors, and you are able to it is very strong if you're able to play it right, and it's a little bit expensive at times, but it has some really good stuff. And then we have kind of red and blue fighting towards the bottom half. I think green and yellow are still the better colors in the grand scheme of things too. But we're going to go over the topping list, and then also a couple other ones I want to go over real quick. And then again, if you want to see any of these lists, they're here on my website, which is linked in the description. So we got our Frieza list here. So this is the list that won the entire event, and this is looking pretty good. I made a tier list, kind of like a little addendum update for it. I think Frieza might be one of the I don't know, I like Cooler a lot more for this. I think Frieza gets a lot of value outright, but it is kind of like a little bit slow, a little bit reactive to your opponent. Like blocker is not really a really good keyword in this card game, I feel like right now, and because of all that, I think Frieza's can be a little bit slow. You do get restand of 2 cards, which is great. Like Ginyu, 1-drop EC, we are able to get this back for free every turn, so we essentially get like a free card draw if they don't answer it, which is really nice, as well as like this 4-drop Frieza. Obviously this is like a big powerhouse for this deck. Being able to use this card again and again, I think is really powerful, and helps you not only like you get a 40k swing for free every turn after turn 4, which is fantastic, and then you get it back, and if your opponent doesn't have any hard removal for it, it's just going to keep attacking, which is very strong. So I think that's something that helps out the deck a lot. Other than that, you just kind of have the tempo for what it is. The 4-drop Cooler is still very good. And honestly, these guys being like the MVPs is kind of why I like the Cooler leader a little bit more, because I think you are able to just get more value out of the 2 of them. Sure, you have to discard a card, but if you kind of think about it, you're discarding a card to make a 40k attack, which is just like an additional like combo of 10k, if you want to think of it that way. So I think that's strong. Cooler's effect, being able to use this one twice to rest 2 things and potentially pop 2 2-drops or less, is really good, and just kind of the whole idea with it. But obviously you can still restand the Cooler with the leader effect and get the when blocking effect, which is really nice, and again, the Frieza there. So don't have much more to say. I think yellow's in a really good spot, and I do like this Frieza clan archetype, I guess, but it's been really strong, and it works in Cooler and Frieza. Again, I like Cooler a little bit more, but Frieza's definitely a good deck leader for this too, so congratulations to their first place finish there. Going into second and third place, we do have a Sun Gohan Childhood, and this is a bit of a specced out deck. We do have a couple of 1s and 2-ofs. I do find it really interesting to only have 1 copy of the Sun Goku rare here. I feel like this is such a good card for the deck, especially since we do have a leader effect off the Sun Gohan Childhood to lose an energy to get a plus 15k, so that's something that we get to recur for free off our Son Goku battle card. But regardless, I think it is I don't know, I'd probably run a couple more copies of this still, just to get that recursion. When I first saw this deck too, I thought this Trunks is going to be an automatic 4-of, is really good for your ramping, but the more I played, I found that like just decks have answers to this card that's actually hard for it to get KO'd if your opponent doesn't want that to happen. So because of that, I've been kind of putting it down a little bit, especially since it only is a 5K counter from there. And then we do have a little bit of like some 1-ofs, 2-ofs. We have the high end, right? We do have like the Aandroidd 16 in here, which is really interesting because we don't actually have any targets outside of this one copy of Son Gohan Childhood. So I don't think that's like a super good ad for you, but I don't know, like you just see like a couple like different ratios. We got 3 options and 1 King Vegeta. We do have 2 Secret Rare Son Gohan Childhood, which I think is the max I would run at this point. I don't think I would run any more than these. You're running like the Broly 40k vanilla, as well as the 6-drop one promo. It's just a big 40k crit, so I think these are strong. I still do like the Aandroidd 1718 super rare though. So I like 2 copies, especially since it's kind of like a smaller version of the Son Gohan Childhood. It's able to clear off some kind of obnoxious bodies on the board at times, but without that, it's kind of weird. So this is just kind of a unique list. I know this is, again, like the first week of the game, and it is something that people are experimenting with new cards, and card availability isn't there for everyone right now either, but some interesting text for this one. So this is our second place list, and then also we have our third place Broly list. Honestly, like, and I'm probably going to make this budget video in the next couple of days or so, but I think Broly is like, if it's not just the best deck, it's probably one of the best decks to make budget-wise, right? We look at this build, our player just built, probably got 2 starter decks of Broly, which is fantastic. They added a couple rares, i.e. the Son Goku and the Son Gohan Childhood, so just 4 of those, so 8 rares from there. That's pretty much it, right? We've got the 1-drop Goku and the 1-drop Son Gohan Childhood. Both of these are just 5, commons and uncommons. I think they're both commons, right? Yeah, they're both commons, so they're super easy to pick up, and they get the value from there. We have the Turtles. We're running no super rares from the set, right? But we're still able to go 3-1 with a list like this and go, very strong. And I think that's part of the reason it is because we just have this leader that lets us ramp in energy very quickly, and then we get to 8. And this 8-drop, if it hits the board, it is a big problem. Most decks really can't answer it unless they play their own 8-drop Broly to get rid of yours, and even then, just being able to drop the first one feels really strong. So I don't know. I think this is just a really great deck. If it's not the best deck in the format, again, it's a very good way to get into the game. 2 of these star decks, a couple rares from the set, and I think you're in a good spot. So congratulations to their 3rd place finish there. And then 2 more decks we want to go over. We've got this Goku Black one, which is the only blue leader that we had, again, like going over the event. We only had, 1 blue leader and 1 red leader out of the 9, the rest just being combinations of green and yellow. And I guess yellow was only Frieza for it too, but I do like the idea of, I don't know, like it's cool. It's in a good spot, I think, a little bit. So, but we do have this Broly here, and we also... no, not the Broly, the Goku Black here. And it's just like an interesting spot. I do think, like, you don't need to do the actual effect of the leader. I know some people have decided, critical on a blue leader is fantastic when we have so many ways to boost it up. We have so much recursion identities with us, but we have like 2 My Futures to be able to awaken earlier if we want to. Peel Off is obviously a very good value card, gets a lot of advantage from that too. The Final Hope Slash. We don't get Sinister Sickle back, but it is great for removing stuff. And for example, Yellow that we saw get first place with this, Sinister Sickle does have like a really good interaction by getting rid of the 2 blockers or whatever they restood for that last turn. This can get rid of the 4-drop Frieza or the 4-drop Cooler and something else. You do kind of have to give up your turn for it, but that is still really great removal if those decks become a little bit more prevalent. And then just kind of like the good blue cards that we get from the set. So the 3-drop Trunks Future, the 4-drop Trunks Future 2, which gets rid of a 3 or less, but is a a critical card, which is really nice. Being able to use our Goku Black, since we're running this stuff, we do want to do the combo of being able to use play Zamasu out, play go into Goku Black for cheaper, and then play some other like 4-cost bodies. So our other targets for that is the Go Tanks as well as the 4-drop Vegeta, letting us attack twice with this, which is really nice, and the critical Vegeta 4-drop 30k crit helps you out a lot too. So I need to play a little bit more Goku Black. I do like the idea of it. I don't know if the card pool of Goku Blacks as well as 4 drops that we can play off it are really there for it to be broken yet, but it gets some good value, and I think it's still a little bit valuable here as well. And then we also have the Aandroidd 17 as well to kind of help round out our green. So every one of the green leaders was run for this event. This one's a little bit of an interesting build here too, being able to we are running the Dr. Giro's lab, which I've done a little bit testing with, but not enough to say one way or the other if I like what it does. But it does get like 1 additional energy every turn, which is great for helping us get to the 8 drop a little bit more comfortably, which is nice. I do think that this was just a player who got 1 copy of the Broly Star deck and then got a couple boxes and was able to upgrade it. Just with the idea that we only had 2 of these Brolys, and the fact that the 2-2 split of the super rares and only 2 of the turtles kind of made me think, you know what, they're only playing 2 of the 2 ofs from the star deck, so maybe that's kind of how that kind of panned out for him. But obviously, I think this deck, like green's just in a good spot. I think there's a reason that a lot of people have been playing green. It's in a really good spot for this game, and it wins. It wins from just getting to the higher cost a little bit easier with some of your ramping cards, which include the Dr. Giro's lab and stuff. So I don't really have much more to say. Aandroidd 18 is probably the deck I played the least out of the 3. And if you do want to play this deck, I think Dr. Giro's lab is the reason you do so, which is maybe a little inconsistent, but is good at like getting sustainable energy kind of throughout the rest of the game too. So you do have to kind of give up a big turn for that, but after that you get to continually get that energy, which is really nice. So that is this leader here. And the last deck we're going to go over today is the Sun Goku. It's the one from the set. I have to say that every time because these cards look so much the same. They have the same front side, and the same traits and everything. So I just want to confirm it every time. It is the permanent you return all your battle cards with Universe 7 and their special traits gets plus 5k power, and then draw a card when attacking. So this is like what people think is like the aggressive red deck. I think there's a couple different ways to play red. Like Beerus is more like mid-range control kind of things, but being able to get that 5k boost is really, really helpful for a lot of these cards. So I do think some of these cards are kind of balanced around the idea that they're 15Ks with good effects, or like they're a little bit underpowered with good effects, and then the leader gets to boost them up with some additional abilities. So we are running like the Aandroidd 18 Searcher, which does let us find like our Krillins and our Aandroidd 17. So we don't have like a lot of targets off this. We are only running 8, so a little bit low. The ratios on this one's a little bit unique too. We do have a good amount of 1-drops, but like the kind of mid game is like kind of a little bit all over the place. So they are playing the Tournament Power Arena, which I've tried this myself. I'm not a really big fan of it. Like it's kind of like you pay 2 for like a 1 plus 5k. You can do it on defense or offense for it, but I just never found it like super worth it all the time. I felt like just playing a 2-drop in itself is kind of worth it a little bit more. We can play it for 1 if we have like the Roshi out, so that's sometimes worth it, but by and large I just felt like it was just kind of rough in hand at times. But if you're able to play it on curve, you do get to play it a couple times, which helps you get that additional advantage, but it's a little bit I don't know, it's a little bit too expensive at times, I feel. Other than that, we do have like the Sun Gohan Adolescence. We have the Frost for stuff like Ginyu, in case that deck's a little bit more popular around. We are able to get 2 of these secret rares, which I think the sweet spot for this is about 2 or 3. I think 4 is a little bit too many, especially since it's a card without any counter for it, but it is great on curve, especially if your opponent just attacked with a 20k card. You're able to play this, attack into it, you're able to get some damage on it really nicely, and I think that helps out the deck a lot too. So if your opponent doesn't remove this, you can do it again next turn, and Beerus I think gets a little bit better interaction with that, because you can give something again minus 10k, make it easier for this Goku to attack over it, but regardless I think it's in a good spot. So other than that, I've been seeing a good amount of these red decks. I'm still a little bit more of a Beerus player than the kind of the aggressive Goku player, but I do think this does have a lot of pressure and can get a lot of advantage against a lot of decks too. So that is the build there. And that's kind of what we're going over in this video. I know a little bit quicker. I know this isn't like the largest event to go over, but we are kind of in these first couple weeks. I just want to be able to get some decks to go over, give my thoughts, and just see what other people are playing. And I hope you guys are interested in that too. So that's going to be it for this video. Later this next week, I do have my own personal tournament, which I'll be running, streaming, as well as putting the top 16 on the website here. So be on the lookout for that. And that's going to be it for me. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And I'll catch you all next time.